In the last lesson, we talked about secondary dominant chords, and in this lesson, we're going to be talking about chord inversions. I strongly recommend that you guys watch the previous lessons before watching this one. There's going to be a link in the description below. Alright, so what do all these chords have in common? The answer is that the root note is always in the bass. We learned previously that a major chord is just a root note, a major third, and a fifth, and a minor chord is just a root note, a minor third, and a fifth. Well, we can also take these intervals and rearrange them so that the fifth is in the bass or the third is in the bass, however we really want to. And that is kind of the principle behind chord inversions. So here's a quick example. Let's take the E minor chord and we're just going to get rid of this. Well, we still have the same notes as we did before. We have a B, an E, and a G. It's just now that the fifth is in the bass. And this is technically still an E minor chord. Okay, so to find all these chord inversions, what I could do is I could just go through and give you all the shapes and tell you this is how to play them, but that's kind of boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this chart. And I showed you guys this chart before in another lesson. So this kind of represents the fretboard, right? Up here are the strings, and over here are the frets. So these are all the intervals on the low E string right here. So if I wanted to find the chord inversion of an E minor chord, for example, first off I have to know the intervals of that, and that's a root note, a minor third, and a fifth. So I would look over on my lowest string here, or whatever string. I go, okay, well I got a minor third here, I got a fifth here, and I got an octave here. Those three technically make up a E minor chord. I could also add in these top three strings right here and play all these together like that, and that's an E minor chord with the G in the bass. If I wanted to find where the fifth was in the bass, I'd look for the fifth. Here's the octave of it. Up here's a major third, and once again I could play these three strings open. Another place would be the minor third, the fifth, the octave, the minor third, and the fifth right here. Just play whatever is most comfortable to you. Keep in mind though that this chart right here is in the key of E. So our root note is E, our octaves are E, and everything, like this is the fourth of E, this is the flat fifth of E. So if we wanted to find, let's say the fifth of G right here, we would have to take this whole first row and shift it all down onto the third fret right here, okay? But once you find a couple comfortable inversions, just stick with them, and you can shift those all over the neck. Okay, so that's an example of what chord inversions are and how to find them. So how do we actually use these? First up, let's just touch upon how these are actually going to be written down. This right here signifies that it's an E minor chord, but B is in the bass, okay? Because B is the lowest note now. So this is a D major chord with an A in the bass. So to use these, what we can do is we can just have the guitar playing the higher end of this chord without actually doing a bar chord. And that's what the guitar player will do for all of these chords, okay? And what the bass player is going to do is just play the low notes, the low root notes of the chord. So in this one, he's going to play an E, a D, a C, and a B. Okay, so here's a kind of an example of what I'm talking about. Another way you could use these is to spice up a boring chord progression. This top one here, they're all open chords, and after a while that gets really boring to play. Here's an example of this chord progression. So here's that same chord progression, except that we're using some different chord inversions on this one. This E minor chord is not a chord inversion. This is just a 5-string bar chord. This is a 6-string bar chord for the A minor. But for the C7 and this E minor, these are both different chord inversions. So here's an example of that. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to be taking a look at altered chords. Hope to see you guys there.